Bangor. From the Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Election Day 2022 is finally here with many polls opening all around the state.
Plus, why some controversial political signs are raising some concerns in Brewer.
And a water main break causes some big problems at Bangor's YMCA. Those stories and more coming up.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
I'm Craig Colson. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're starting off with really nice weather out there. It's a bit chilly, so be warned about that. Maybe you want to grab a little slicka when you head out this morning.
Yeah, yes, above.
Slicka, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the sun is still out. It's quite a bit colder than yesterday, but we still have a beautiful day, like you said. And Devin has the details for tonight into tomorrow.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday and happy Election Day. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs, carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. All righty, here we are. We have wind advisories in effect here, and that's across the northern parts of the state. This will last until 5 p.m. this evening. Further down toward the south, gale warnings in effect for everybody until 7 p.m. later this evening. There's another little shade right about in here, though, and now there is a small craft advisory closer to shore. But either way, it'll be very windy today. Some gusts up to 40 miles per hour at times with that front that has now passed through. But the good news to report is everything else is looking pretty quiet. Just a few passing clouds today. So we're going to go with the partly cloudy language for today as this cold front has now moved away, which is helping to stir up the ocean. But for us, just a few passing clouds and some gusty winds, and that'll be about it. Will be partly cloudy today. Will become mostly clear later on tonight. The winds later on tonight and parts of tomorrow will finally begin to back off. So overall, the weather, set aside the wind, looking pretty nice moving forward. So here's that wind. Sustained winds possibly up to 20 miles per hour in a few areas at times, but gradually backing off as we head towards your Wednesday morning. Your forecast for today on this Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. Northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, plenty of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. Well, Election Day 2022 is upon us, an historic election that will determine which party will have control in Washington.
There are also several big offices up for grabs here in Maine, including governor and Congress. According to the Secretary of State's office, there has been no shortage of enthusiasm. More than 200,000 Mainers have already returned their absentee ballots, and many have continued to take part in early voting.
You'll get your chance, too, when the polls open in your community. It's 8 o'clock now, so right now, most people should be able to go and cast their vote. Maine will once again use ranked choice voting to select candidates for some of the major offices. It's a practice considered controversial by some, but supporters say it's a way to select candidates wanted by the greatest number of people.
A race to watch closely today will be the race for Maine's 2nd congressional district. Republican Bruce Poliquin won the popular vote the last time he faced Congressman Jared Golden, but Golden won the race because of ranked choice voting. A.J. Douglas took to the streets to see what Mainers think.
Back in 2016, voters approved ranked choice voting for elections through a citizen-initiated referendum. The political practice only applies to primary, federal, and congressional races, but is not being used in traditional pick-one elections, such as governor, county, or state legislature elections.
With ranked choice voting, you get to choose not only your first choice, but your second choice as well, like your backup choice. And there's no wrong way to pick your favorite and potentially your second favorite candidate on the ranked choice voting ballot.
Ranked choice voting tabulation begins in the event that no candidate receives 50% or more of the voting majority.
First and second place candidates retain their original first choice votes. They don't lose any votes. Those ballots are then reallocated to the 2 remaining candidates based on voter preference. And with that, someone will receive a clear majority of 50% or more.
A few shared their thoughts on if it's a fair practice for elections throughout the state.
Oh, I certainly do.
I think ranked choice voting makes a lot of sense. It allows for nuance and it allows for you to have your choice, your voice and your choices heard more effectively.
I'm mixed on that. There are times when I think it is, and I know other parts of the country are looking at it. There are other times I feel like we should just use the straight numbers.
For Tuesday's election, ranked choice voting will only be applied if there isn't a 50% or more majority in the Paula Quinn Golden race. Back in 2018, Congressman Jared Golden was elected through this political practice. In Bangor, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Well, there are two candidates running for state senator to represent the city of Bangor and the town of Herman. Incumbent Joe Baldacci and newcomer Suzette Furrow are running for the District 9 Senate seat for Bangor and Herman. Each candidate has certain areas they would like to focus on should voters elect them to the Maine State Senate.
But we have to do more on a number of different fronts: healthcare, prescription drugs, seniors, housing. So there's a lot we can do, but there's a lot we have accomplished.
I think we need to remove a lot of regulation on the small businesses to help them because they were severely hurt during the pandemic, and support the local businesses rather than the corporations.
Voters will get to weigh in on that Senate race and many other key decisions when polls are open, which is as of right now.
Well, in other news today, Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating an incident that injured an East Millinocket police officer. Last night, officers responded to the scene of a service call. An officer that was on their way reportedly lost control and hydroplaned. The cruiser rolled over. The officer was transported to a local hospital with minor injuries and has since been released.
The Portland Police Department is issuing a silver alert for 21-year-old Samuel Magisha of Portland. He was last seen leaving his Auburn Street apartment on Friday, November 4th at about 8 a.m. He's known to walk to his uncle's house on Kenneth Street in Westbrook, but he has not shown up there. Magisha was last seen wearing a khaki-colored hooded sweatshirt, khaki pants, and brown leather dress shoes. He's 5'11" and 200 pounds with black hair, brown eyes, and a short chin beard.
A water main break caused some headaches at Bangor's YMCA, cutting off its water completely on Monday morning. Despite the water main break, the fitness center and weight room remained open. However, members were not allowed to access the locker rooms or restrooms. In addition, the early childhood and on-site after-school programs, group fitness classes, and pools were all closed for the day. Even with the closure, this did not discourage members from working up a sweat.
The workouts is great as always. You just can't use the water, and bathrooms aren't functioning right now, so you have to plan ahead and not use those services when you're here.
Bangor YMCA hoped to have the issue fixed by the end of yesterday.
The University of Maine kicked off its Veterans Week events yesterday. The week-long celebration commenced with a flag-raising ceremony to honor local veterans, followed by a student veteran barbecue on campus. The events are organized by the Office of Veterans Education and Transition Services to honor the university's student veteran population.
I think it's probably the highlight of our Veterans Week, where people get to come by, eat some food, and say thank you.
Today we raise the flag, we come together, but it's really it's an object lesson that we need to pay attention, we need to be aware, and we need to be engaged.
You can visit UMaine's website to learn more about Veterans Week events. Well, the time is now 8:08. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a Brewer resident has erected political signs containing foul language, and some neighbors aren't happy.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast. It's a sunny one out there, folks. A bit cooler, though. The highs only reaching 48 degrees. Tonight, a chilly night with lows dipping down to 25. Tomorrow, another mostly sunny day with highs right around 48.
Janet Mills is crushing Maine families. Under her watch, Mainers will face rolling blackouts this winter, putting our most vulnerable, like seniors, at risk. And because of Mills and Joe Biden's failed agenda, Mainers will pay 72% more for home heating oil and $60 more each month for groceries. Mainers can't afford more of the failed Mills agenda. Vote no on Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
This Veterans Day, join Fox ABC Maine as we salute and honor our veterans. Are you an active, inactive, or retired member of the armed services? Do you know someone who is? Then upload your photos on foxbangor.com/Maine Heroes. We will randomly select as many veterans as possible to win a gift card. Locally sponsored by Body Graphics Tattoo and Piercing Studio, Comfort Shoes and More, GRF Real Estate Company, and Rowell's Garage and Car Wash.
On the next Last Man Standing.
Wonderful to see my daughters spending time with each other.
Eve's Happy Homecoming.
I can change the welcome banner to goodbye. I look forward to seeing how you spell it.
Turns into fight night at the Baxters.
Are you no longer even capable of being polite to each other? Nope. Ditto. No ditto, no ditto. You're the ditto.
They say the kids just grow up way too fast. I am still waiting for that.
Last Man Standing.
This afternoon, starting at 4 on Fox 22.
Welcome back. The Red Cross is sharing some important reminders as flu season gets underway. Leaders from the Northern New England American Red Cross are encouraging people to go out and get their flu vaccinations, which they say helps increase blood donor eligibility. When seasonal illnesses ramp up, the number of healthy donors decreases.
We're encouraging folks to come out when they're feeling well, when they're feeling healthy. There's no wait. If you've had your flu vaccine, as long as you're feeling healthy and well, you can come out and give blood.
Now, those interested in donating blood can find a location in their area by visiting redcross.org.
A resident on Chamberlain Street in Brewer is displaying controversial political signs that are making many residents unhappy. Matthew Duronsik has more on the story and a warning to parents the images in the story may be inappropriate for some young viewers.
Sadness for one thing, sadness for my country. Sadness that the neighborhood has to deal with it. Sadness that children aren't protected from that kind of just vile, uncivil behavior.
Members of Chamberlain Street and the community are at their wits' end with the political banners they go by every day.
I wonder why they put so many around, and I can't wait for them to take them away.
Beside 113 Chamberlain Street are explicit signs about the president, Trump 2024 and Let's Go Brandon signs, and even one with President Biden's face inside the iconic Looney Tunes ending.
There are also signs that are obscene, which I find very offensive, and knowing that there are children in the area, I do believe that's an embarrassment to the neighborhood.
While some in the neighborhood wants the residents to take down the signs, others like Norman Gardner don't mind it.
It doesn't bother me, but I don't understand why. Like a F word or whatever the sign on it, people will drive by, they don't get it, why is that? But I respect the people's property.
However, other residents say it's the way the message is portrayed that makes them the most upset.
I just think it's kind of too bad to do it in such a vulgar, nasty way.
It takes my breath away. It's kind of like, wow, I can't believe somebody's done this and got away with it.
We reached out to the City of Brewer's Code Enforcement Office to see if those types of signs are allowed on private property, but we did not hear anything back. Matthew Duronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Very interesting. I'd be curious to see what like the local officials might say about that regarding the legality of it. I know it's a free speech issue, but at the same time, can you just display those things out in public? Should you do that?
As far as legality goes, I think it's always a good conversation starter because, I mean, yes, if it's on private property, technically, but maybe there is room for civil suits. Maybe that is something that they could be risking by doing this. Who knows?
Very interesting.
Who knows?
Well, right now, the time is 8:13. After the break, we'll hear about a healthy alternative to chicken nuggets.
Plus, we'll get behind the scenes with the Maine Cabin Masters crew. All of this and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices. We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. With Angie, you can connect with top pros and see ratings and reviews. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
Whenever Maine Wood Floors wants to know the weather, they log on to foxbangor.com. Whether you're searching to add beauty with a new hardwood floor or need to restore your old one, Maine Wood Floors is your hardwood flooring expert in Mid-Coast Maine.
Jared Golden took money from an anti-lobstering group.
You know, the other day we're hauling and everybody was saying, so why did Jared Golden take this money?
Because he's a politician, and that's what politicians do.
He's funded by the very people that could put an end to our entire industry.
Shutting the lobster industry down would be devastating for the people of Maine.
If you cared about Maine and you were for the fishermen, you would have immediately give that money back. It was literally like a big kick in the nuts.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It takes all types to play Family Feud. The Doghouse Daddy.
What's the least sexy thing your wife has ever worn?
Granny panties, Steve.
The Family Blabbermouth.
Grandma's sick of Grandpa falling asleep in the middle of what?
Going to the bathroom.
Herman, get up off this toilet!
See all the types on Family Feud.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
A group of friends with a shop in Manchester is shining a light on just how cool refurbishing run-down camps and cabins in Maine can be. Our Jody Hersey spoke with the stars of the show Maine Cabin Masters to learn more about their passion for saving these well-loved family camps.
It's really surreal, to be honest with you. It still doesn't feel real.
Ryan Eldridge, Chase and Ashley Morrill, and their friends Dixie and Jedi are the stars of the reality TV show Maine Cabin Masters. So far, over 100 episodes of the crew fixing up camps and cabins in Maine have been filmed. The show's stars, who all grew up around the Augusta area, say what you see on air is exactly how they are in their day-to-day lives.
They're filming us doing what we'd be doing with or without a film crew. So, you know, we're constantly learning, we're constantly bouncing ideas off from each other on the job sites.
Brother and sister Chase and Ashley Morrill say they were raised in a family whose focus was to reuse, recycle, and refurbish as often as possible.
That's always kind of been the main way. It's, you know, Yankee frugality. You know, if it still has life left to it, it doesn't necessarily be for its original intention, you know, find a way to make it work.
The Maine Cabin Masters try to avoid ever building new. Instead, they aim to show viewers how to maximize what their family cabins already have to offer.
These cabins have been in these families forever, and they don't want them changed that much, to be honest. So what we like to do is go in and, you know, just get the rot, you know, fix it up, and make it so that they can enjoy it for another 50 years.
The Maine Cabin Masters say they still enjoy working with one another all these years later, while also showing viewers some of the best parts of our state.
My favorite things about doing the show is showcasing all the great artists and craftsmen in the state of Maine. You know, a lot of times we can use their art either in the camps, or we actually have a retail store as well where we sell local Maine art.
In Manchester, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Very neat. Well, Beyond Meat is launching new products, Beyond Chicken Nuggets and Beyond Popcorn Chicken. The company has signed on with Kroger, Walmart, Albertsons, and Ahold, the parent company of Stop & Shop, which will be selling them in grocery stores. The two new products have 14 grams of plant-based protein derived from a blend of fava bean and pea, 50% less saturated fat than a leading brand of national breaded chicken nuggets, 0 cholesterol, and no added antibiotics, hormones, or soy.
You don't seem very excited.
No, that imitation meat stuff for me just...
I would try it.
Oh, I'd try it. I'll try anything. You know?
Yes.
If you put enough sauce on it, it would probably taste good.
Good point. Some sweet and sour sauce. Yeah. When it comes to like that type of texture with chicken nuggets, I think they can mock meat fairly better.
Yeah. I don't eat chicken nuggets very often, so when I do, just give me the real things.
Good point.
You don't want to know what's in those.
Give me the real.
Yeah.
Even better
That's
point.
That's a whole other
Even
conversation.
better point.
Yeah.
Let's get a full look at that forecast.
Mystery meat. Mystery meat.
Devin Banks is in with the latest.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs. Carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. Alrighty, here we are. Wind advisories are in effect until 5 p.m. across the northern parts of the state. Everywhere will be windy today. And we're also watching gale warnings in effect along the coast until 7 p.m. this evening. For this shade right about in here, there's another shade located right about in here, and now right there is also a swell craft advisory in effect. So you get the general idea. The surf will be active today, courtesy of some gusty winds that'll reach up to around 40 miles per hour in a few areas. But otherwise, the radar on satellite's not looking too bad. We have a few clouds moving in from the northwest, going toward the south and east, which is trailing that cold front right now, which has now moved away and pretty much fizzled out at this point, too. We have high pressure located right about in here, so as everything moves away, things will start to calm down, especially with high pressure that'll begin to move in for the daytime tomorrow. So later on tonight and tomorrow, things will begin to calm down. Let's go on a field trip. I haven't dug these graphics out in a while. We have a subtropical storm out there. It's not fully tropical characteristics just yet, though, but that's enough that they're going to call this a Nicole with winds up to 45 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at 8 miles per hour. With a target on Florida, though, there's hurricane warnings and hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings in effect for some of these areas, though, as this thing is planning to head toward Florida. And we may need to watch the system as well, because even though it'll be on land and pretty much become extratropical by this point, there'll still be something left over as we head towards early parts of next week. So this thing will be heading toward us, so we'll need to keep an eye on this in some capacity as we get closer. But otherwise, though, back here at home, again, we have gusty winds today reaching up to 30 to 40 miles per hour at times, especially through the early afternoon period. Gradually backing off later on this evening to the overnight period. So by tomorrow, those winds will finally begin to ease up. And those wave heights very active right now, 2 to 5 feet according to some of the buoys that are reporting. But where you see this shaded color right about in here, indicating some higher surf, so the ocean is rather active out there this morning. Our average high is 49 degrees. We'll reach for the upper 40s today, not too far away from average. We'll go for above average high temperatures for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the 50s and even 60s. Sunday and Monday, we're back down into the 40s. So moving forward for today, though, a few passing clouds, that gusty northwest wind up to 40 miles per hour. Otherwise, a decent amount of sunshine as well. And overall, we're looking pretty clear overnight tonight. So overall, things looking pretty good as we do move forward for the next few days. So your forecast for today on Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. That northwest wind getting up to around 40 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 20s, mostly clear, still breezy out there. That northwest wind getting up around 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, that's right near average, mostly sunny. Northwest wind backing off to about 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop. Again, today is Election Day. Make sure to get out to vote. The weather will be nice. Set aside the wind. For your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. Veterans Day on Friday will be mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Mid-60s on Saturday with a chance for rain showers.
All right, thank you, Devin.
We'll be right back.
The results are in. It's official. The winner of the 2022 Home Buyers and Sellers election is Luke. Luke is the best vote when buying or selling your home. So get Luke and get sold today with Next Home Experience.
I've got plans. We've all got them. But Bruce Poliquin's plans would put Social Security benefits at risk. He planned to raise the retirement age and cap retirees' cost of living increases. He even opposed allowing Medicare to negotiate cheaper drug prices. But Jared Golden didn't just plan. He passed legislation to cap seniors' drug costs and let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Jared Golden is the man with the right plan.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hear that music? It can only mean breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Imagine a fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, plus your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. That's right, the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and sausage, egg, and cheese bagels are all back, but only for a limited time at McDonald's.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin, he went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Looking for your dream home? Contact a Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
Here's an interesting mystery. A bright ball of light streaks across the sky in Northern California. Multiple people capturing it on video. This is one view. It happened last Friday night in the city of Redding. The ball descends and then flashes right before disappearing from view. Astronomers said a meteor shower was set to peak that night, but there's no official word yet on what exactly was that ball of light. Was it a meteor or not?
Ukrainian President Zelensky is warning of more mass attacks by Russia on the power grid as millions are currently without electricity. Fox News senior correspondent for Fox News, Greg Palkot, has more from Kyiv.
The power situation in Ukraine is becoming dire. Russia stepping up its air attacks on civilian infrastructure, cutting off power and water to huge areas of the country. Officials say more than 4 million Ukrainians are now without electricity. Here in Kyiv, rolling blackouts are in effect, and the mayor is warning residents to brace for even more cuts in the coming days.
Let's be honest, our enemies are doing everything to ensure that the city is without heat, electricity, water supply, and in general that we all die. This is their task.
Russia is increasingly using Iranian-made drones in these attacks. Some are shot down, but many make it through, causing massive damage. The Biden administration now reportedly pressuring Ukrainian officials to signal that they're willing to negotiate with Russia. But President Zelensky says that won't happen as long as the attacks continue.
The Iranian regime is helping Russia to prolong this war. If there were no Iranian supply of weapons to the aggressor, we would be closer to peace now.
Meanwhile, on the diplomatic front, there are reports National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has been holding secret talks with Russian officials, trying to ensure the war doesn't turn into a nuclear conflict, while also stressing Russia bears full responsibility for the invasion.
This war could end very easily. Russia chose to start it. Russia could choose to end it by ceasing its attack on Ukraine.
Sullivan made a surprise visit to Kyiv on Friday, pledging more U.S. support for Ukraine's military as the winter approaches. In Kyiv, Greg Balcon, Fox News.
And when we return, we'll check in to see the latest of what's happening in Hollywood.
We'll be back right after this.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents, $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class, all because 83% of the time, Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Get excited. It's all for you. We got some fun fall activities happening. I love this! Right here, live and in person. Buckle up. Are we ready?
The Drew Barrymore Show, Tuesday at 11 on Fox 22. You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Tuesday. It's Election Day, November 8th, 2022. On this day in history, in 1935, the movie Mutiny on the Bounty, starring Clark Gable, premiered in New York. And in 1889, Montana became the 41st state.
I always wanted to go to Montana.
Me too.
Looks like it's pretty out there. Well, in 2000, a statewide recount began in Florida that would determine the results of the presidential race that year between Vice President Al Gore and Texas Governor George W. Bush. In 2011, an asteroid as big as an aircraft carrier zipped by Earth in the closest encounter with such a massive space rock in more than 3 decades.
Today's birthdays include TV chef Gordon Ramsay, who's 56 years old, and actor Parker Posey is 54.
ABC News anchor David Muir is 49 years old, and country singer Bucky Covington is 45. Congratulations and happy birthday to all of them.
I don't know who Parker Posey is.
I'll have to show you a picture. It's
Okay.
one of those, as soon as you see her, you'll know, okay, I know who that is.
Okay.
There were
Okay.
several of them in the birthday list today, that none that just by name will
Right.
jump out at you, but
Right.
you got to see the picture.
I get it.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, I mean, well, the spotlight's on the weather for today. We're
Perfect.
finally dipping down into what we are used to for November.
Yep, great weather for people heading out to cast their ballot today. And a reminder, I'm not sure if we said it in this hour or not, but the Bangor Bus System, the Community Connector, is offering free rides to everyone trying to get to the polls. So when you get on the bus, just tell them where you're going. And
Right.
Should
And
be
of
free.
course, there is, I don't know if it's a state or federal law, but there's a law that protects employees who need to tell their boss, hey, I have to leave work very quickly to go vote.
Yeah.
So that's a protected right of yours as a citizen as well.
all right.
So-
The good news is we have nice weather for it, as Devin will tell us.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday and happy Election Day. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs, carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. All righty, here we are. We have wind advisories in effect here, and that's across the northern parts of the state. This will last until 5 p.m. this evening. Further down toward the south, gale warnings in effect for everybody until 7 p.m. later this evening. There's another little shade right about in here, though, and now right there is a small craft advisory closer to shore. But either way, it'll be very windy today. Some gusts up to 40 miles per hour at times with that front that has now passed through. But the good news to report is everything else is looking pretty quiet. Just a few passing clouds today. So we're going to go with the partly cloudy language for it today as this cold front has now moved away, which is helping to stir up the ocean. But for us, just a few passing clouds and some gusty winds, and that'll be about it. Will be partly cloudy today. Will become mostly clear later on tonight. The winds later on tonight and parts of tomorrow will finally begin to back off. So overall, the weather, set aside the wind, looking pretty nice moving forward. So here's that wind. Sustained winds possibly up to 20 miles per hour in a few areas at times, but gradually backing off as we head towards your Wednesday morning. Your forecast for today on this Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. Northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, plenty of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin.
A late-night TV host will return to a major award show. A Grammy and Oscar winner earns an Icon Award and more.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Murphy's Monster renewal, Richie's new honor, and Kimmel's Oscar return in the Hollywood Nation. Jimmy Kimmel will once again help celebrate Hollywood's biggest night. He will take center stage as host of the 2023 Academy Awards. This marks his third time emceeing the annual ceremony, which will air live from Hollywood's Dolby Theater March 12th. Lionel Richie will be adding more hardware to his trophy case. Fresh off the heels of his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, Richie will be honored with the Icon Award during the 2022 American Music Awards, making him the first artist to be featured on the AMA stage in every decade since the show launched. The ceremony airs live from LA's Microsoft Theater November 20th.
What are you doing there?
True crime fans and enthusiasts can expect more killer stories from Ryan Murphy. After the record-breaking success of Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Netflix has renewed Murphy's anthology series for 2 more seasons. According to the streamer, the first season has accumulated over 900 million hours viewed and is expected to reach 1 billion in the coming weeks.
Tonight, a murder will be committed.
And Daniel Craig is back on the case in today's First Looks. Netflix released the official trailer to Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, featuring Craig reprising his role as Detective Benoit Blanc. The preview follows the super sleuth on an island getaway where he is forced into action when a tech billionaire's murder mystery party turns deadly. The film opens in theaters 1 month before its streaming debut, December 23rd.
For at least one person, this is not a game.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, Gmail is helping consumers track holiday packages with a new feature. The service will add package shipping and delivery tracking to a user's inbox. Gmail will display the delivery status in the inbox view list and include a summary card at the top of individual emails. If users opt to receive tracking updates, users can opt out of tracking at any time.
Very neat. Some people want to know exactly when it's coming and where it is.
The people who are collecting data for Google definitely do. Still to come here this morning, Tyler Cruz has your latest with local sports.
We'll also hear from a very special guest. Don't go away.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Janet Mills? 4 years ago, we filmed an ad here supporting her. But Janet has been a disaster for the state of Maine. She's driving up inflation, and her decisions have permanently harmed small businesses and our economy.
And she's bad for seniors and Maine families. Mills raised our electric bill, and she's pushing up home heating costs.
We need Paul LePage now.
We've got to vote for Paul LePage.
Renovating or building new, you'll find a wide selection of high-performing, energy-efficient, and beautiful windows and doors at Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales representative will walk you through the showroom displays and help you choose options to create a personalized custom look. Free in-home measurement is available, and Hammond can deliver your order from any of their locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Bring your vision and enjoy better light and added security and energy savings with quality windows and doors from Hammond Lumber Company.
Jared Golden says one thing in Maine, another thing in Washington.
Thanks to Biden and his golden boy Jared, everything is more expensive.
Heating oil is through the roof, and winter's coming.
Jared Golden's policies are going to make people decide whether to heat or to eat.
What's Jared Golden done about it?
He voted to raise taxes on every Mainer.
Jared Golden, independent when it's convenient and liberal when it matters.
Sounds like a typical politician to me.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
This is an exciting U.S. team. They're young, they're hungry.
Yo, Wes, did you pass that?
Rolling it in, lays it off, cutting it back. What a finish!
Thanks, man. Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. It was a big weekend in soccer up here. At the high school level, state champs were crowned in all classes across the state. And at the college level, the Husson men's soccer team punched a ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. The Eagles, who rode a perfect conference record into the postseason, captured a NAC East championship 2 Saturdays ago and then took a 1-0 overtime victory against SUNY Delhi to take home the conference championship this past Saturday, their first one in 8 years. And they say with all the hard work this team has put in both this year and last, that win meant a lot.
The group of guys I have behind me, I mean, everyone on this team has contributed. The time, the effort that we put in every training session, we're there, you know, this is a family to me. This means so much for all of us.
Now, the Eagles have a big test ahead of them. They have never actually won an NCAA tournament game, and they're going to have to beat one of the best teams in the country if they want to get over that hump. Husson heads down to play UMass Amherst, the host of that regional, and they know they are underdogs in the game, but they're also not rolling over.
We're little old Husson from Bangor, Maine. And, you know, a lot of the teams don't even know the record that we have or don't even know how successful we've been over 2 seasons. And so I said to these guys, you know, we've been waiting for this moment. This is our chance. We don't turn up and let anybody just walk all over us. And so we're going to go down there and give them a real shot.
Yeah, we're the underdogs, right? We have everything to win. And playing one of the best teams in the nation, in our opinion. We have everything to win. It's going to be such a great challenge, and we're ready for it.
That game's Saturday at 11 a.m. Wishing them some luck. Let's stay on the pitch here. Saturday was a historic day for another area team. We will go back down to the high school level now, where the Bucksport girls soccer team won their first ever gold ball in program history. The Bucks took a 2-1 victory over Maranacook, the Southern State champs, on Saturday, capping off a perfect 18-0 season to bring home the girls' Class C state championship for the first time ever. After losing to Maranacook last year, they say the win felt pretty good in the redemption game, and being able to grab that gold ball and run it over to the fans at the end is something they will never forget.
It was unreal. It was definitely a feeling that I've never experienced before. Being the first one definitely set off emotions that I didn't expect to have. We were definitely all emotional. We all worked really hard for that.
It's kind of an expectation set at the beginning of the year, like our first practice, that this was going to be a team that went back to states and we were going to win it. And so when it happened, I think we were all a little shocked, like, that really just happened. And to be the first, like, it still hasn't really set in that we are the state champs.
The Bucks won their first ever regional championship and turned that into the state title this year. They say the success of the program over these last few seasons can be credited to two things: coaching and chemistry.
I think it has a lot to do with coaching. We have like 4 different coaches and we have different like techniques, and with how many girls we have, different ages, and we've worked together for a really long time.
It's like we all play together, and I think that's really what makes a difference. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 girls that were our middle school team, and it's still the same.
We've been obviously playing soccer together since we were like really young, and then now we as a like still the same group are like achieving all these things together and breaking all these records together and doing like amazing, so it's really nice to see.
That is nice to see. Let's go to some basketball now. Finally, 'tis the season, right? Monday, the college basketball tip-off around the country. And for Maine men's and women's basketball, they were no different, both on the road. We will start with the women. Black Bears taking on James Madison University in this one. First game of the season for the defending regular season champs. Second quarter, Maine down 1. J.C. Christopher, hey, we know her on the inbound. She hits Caroline Borneman. Christopher's first assist, Maine down 5. Second half, Maine down 4. Paula Gallego, she drives and kicks it out to Ann Simon. Simon nails the tray ball. Maine down 1. Simon again, this time on the drive. A pretty finish at the rim right there. Black Bears, they have the lead. It was back and forth all night, knotted with just seconds left. Remember that first highlight? Christopher to Borneman with 0.4 on the clock. Maine, they are going to go on to win this one. 60-58 is the final, and they start the year 1-0. Let's go to the men now in action in Nebraska. First game of the Chris Markwood era. Second half, Maine down 7. Jashante Wright McLeish finds Christian Fierbergs, who nails the 3. That makes it a 4-point game. It's a 6-point game now. Wright McLeish again. This time he finds Getty Uazopides, and Uazopides nails the triple. It's now a 3-point game. Maine shooting the lights out. Here's Getty again, just spots up, pulls up, nails the 3. Black Bears were 21.5-point underdogs. They are down 1 in the second, but eventually the wheels would fall off. Sam Griesel is going to hit the corner 3 to put the Huskers up 10, and Maine would drop their first game of the Chris Markwood era. The final score, 79-66. So a big night for Maine College hoops. The men looked real good for a Big Ten opponent in the first game with a new head coach. Women looked pretty good as well. I mean, you can't complain with a win right there. I'm sure that's how they wanted to start the season. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
Make sure your money lives as long as you do. The younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
I may be close to retirement, but I'm as busy as ever. And thanks to Voya, I'm confident about my future. Voya provides guidance for the right investments. They make me feel like I've got it all under control.
Voya, be confident to and through retirement.
Janet Mills is crushing Maine families. Under her watch, Mainers will face rolling blackouts this winter, putting our most vulnerable, like seniors, at risk. And because of Mills and Joe Biden's failed agenda, Mainers will pay 72% more for home heating oil and $60 more each month for groceries. Mainers can't afford more of the failed Mills agenda. Vote no on Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Looking for winter services? There is still time to sign up. The pros at Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape specialize in snow removal and ice management for commercial and residential properties. They will take care of the snow plowing, snow blowing, shoveling, salting, and sanding. Atlantic now has 2 locations and is accepting new clients in Brewer, Bangor, Vesey, and in town Orono, Brunswick, Topsail, Bath, and surrounding areas. Call for your free estimate or visit our website for customizable services. Local, reliable, and fully insured. Atlantic Lawn Care and Landscape.
Welcome back, everyone. We have a special guest joining us this morning to tell us about a very special project. John Furman, when we first met, you were just creating Bub and Mother's Down East Dinner Dust.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, you got to say it with the right accent, too. You know.
Yeah, Mother's.
Yeah. And you've expanded your line since then, and you're also doing something to help local veterans. Just tell us what's been going on.
Sure. Well, we've done well enough that January 1, we're going to be introducing 4 new flavors. One for chicken, one for beef, one for pork, and then a special unique one called Johnny Bravo, which is our Patriot Powder. And the genesis of that is 100% of the profits are going to go to veteran charities over the year. But what started that was on Memorial Day, we made a commitment to Maine Veterans Project that we were going to run from Memorial Day to Veterans Day. And a little bit of every purchase was going to go into a donation for them. And
you've raised a ton of money for
them.
them.
We a ton of money and a big check.
Right.
So
you got to have a big check.
Yes. Yeah, we ended up raising $2,500, for Doc and his crew for the amazing work that they've done. It's funny, I met Doc shortly before we did our first interview here, and watch them go from one guy to a full operation.
That's incredible. For people that don't know, tell us about Maine Veterans Project. They're coming up with all kinds of services for local veterans.
They started out, and they're still, their message is 22 veterans a day are committing suicide, and they want to make that awareness. But in addition to that, I've seen them replace roofs, plumbing, heating systems, donate vans or fix a veteran's vehicle. Pretty much if a veteran's in need and they reach out to those guys, if they can't get it done, it can't be done, and more times than not, they get done whatever they need to do. It's just an amazing accomplishment with what started with very little resources.
Yeah. And these are all local people just really helping their neighbors.
Local people, local vendors, when they have a situation, a roofer will come out of nowhere and go, we'll give you the labor, or we'll give you the lumber, donate, and trucks show up, car dealers donating vehicles or donating repairs. It's just an amazing thing.
I know for a while they were even giving firewood to veterans just to help them heat their homes, things like
whatever
that.
They need, heating oil, and I think this year they've put together a fund for heating. Couldn't come at a better time, right?
Right.
So it's been a great association. When we started the company, I've always believed that you might as well align yourself with your give back in the beginning, because in the beginning you can obviously only make small donations, but if you don't learn how to make the small ones, when it comes time for a bigger one, you're just not going to be ready. And when we hooked up with Doc, I don't think that no matter what happens to us in the future, there won't come a time where somehow we're involved.
Is that aligning yourself with this important cause very central to your business, would you say?
From a business standpoint, I think that, we do take advantage that, this country is becoming more patriotic. And we like to think that they start to realize the value of those that wore the uniform. And, it sells a little bit more product, but it raises that money. And most importantly for us, it raises the awareness for what each charity is trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your business a little bit. If people want to get Bub and Mother's Down East Dinner Dust, where do they get it?
The easiest, obviously, is the website, which is bubandmothers.com or www.bubandmothers.com.
Spelled M-U-T-H-A.
Right? Yes, Mothers. Yes. And we have a lot of fun with that, and some of our names, our new flavor is going to be like the chicken one is Chick Stick It. and Hog Heaven is the perfect pork powder. So it's barbecue. It's not supposed to be serious.
Right.
But also, our regular flavors are available at all Rennies.
Oh, gotcha.
A lot of your local stores. And if they go to the website, we have a list of every store in the country that we're in, so that if you're traveling, you can, in an emergency, grab some.
You never know.
Yeah.
You might need some.
You really don't ever know.
You know, it's pretty neat though. A lot of people out there have smokers today. They're learning how to do it, and now you can try this special seasoning, and you know that you're helping local veterans at the same time. Pretty neat.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I can't thank you guys enough, and I wish Doc were here, but he's got a medical issue and couldn't be with us today.
Well, we'll keep track with you. Next time you do something like this, let us know. We'd love to help spread the word.
Always. We take all the help we can get. We're not a proud folk.
Hey, John, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, back with more, but first this.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs. Carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. Alrighty, here we are. Wind advisories are in effect until 5 p.m. across the northern parts of the state. Everywhere will be windy today. And we're also watching gale warnings in effect along the coast until 7 p.m. this evening. For this shade right about in here, there's another shade located right about in here, and now right there is also a swell craft advisory in effect. So you get the general idea. The surf will be active today, courtesy of some gusty winds that'll reach up to around 40 miles per hour in a few areas. Otherwise, the radar on satellite's not looking too bad. We have a few clouds moving in for the northwest, going toward the south and east, which is trailing that cold front right now, which has now moved away and pretty much fizzled out at this point, too. We have high pressure located right about in here, so as everything moves away, things will start to calm down, especially with high pressure that'll begin to move in for the daytime tomorrow. So later on tonight and tomorrow, things will begin to calm down. Let's go on a field trip. I haven't dug these graphics out in a while. We have a subtropical storm out there. It's not fully tropical characteristics just yet, though, but that's enough that they're going to call this a Nicole with winds up to 45 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at 8 miles per hour. With a target on Florida, though, there's hurricane warnings and hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings in effect for some of these areas, though, as this thing is planning to head toward Florida. And we may need to watch the system as well, because even though it'll be on land and pretty much become extratropical by this point, there'll still be something left over as we head towards early parts of next week. So this thing will be heading toward us, so we'll need to keep an eye on this in some capacity as we get closer. But otherwise, though, back here at home, again, we have gusty winds today reaching up to 30 to 40 miles per hour at times, especially through the early afternoon period. Gradually backing off later on this evening to the overnight period. So by tomorrow, those winds will finally begin to ease up. And those wave heights very active right now, 2 to 5 feet according to some of the buoys that are reporting. But where you see this shaded color right about in here, indicating some higher surf, so the ocean is rather active out there this morning. Our average high is 49 degrees. We'll reach for the upper 40s today, not too far away from average. We'll go for above average high temperatures for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the 50s and even 60s. Sunday and Monday, we're back down into the 40s. So moving forward for today, though, a few passing clouds, that gusty northwest wind up to 40 miles per hour. Otherwise, a decent amount of sunshine as well. And overall, we're looking pretty clear overnight tonight. So overall, things looking pretty good as we do move forward for the next few days. So your forecast for today on Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. That northwest wind getting up to around 40 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 20s, mostly clear, still breezy out there. That northwest wind getting up around 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, that's right near average, mostly sunny. Northwest wind backing off to about 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop. Again, today is Election Day. Make sure to get out to vote. The weather will be nice. Set aside the wind. For your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. Veterans Day on Friday will be mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Mid-60s on Saturday with a chance for rain showers.
If you're a Medicare beneficiary and live in the area, call now to see how this little card could get you some big benefits, including money added back to your Social Security check. With one toll-free call, you can find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage, plus extra benefits. You get an all-in-one plan designed to fit your needs so you can be your best every day. You could have medical coverage, prescription drugs with $0 generics, dental, vision and hearing, plus the WellCare Visa Flex Card, money for over-the-counter items, and money back in your Social Security check each month, and so much more. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare plan for a $0 monthly premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 monthly premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 1-866-819-7962 now. There is absolutely no obligation for requesting this free information. WellCare offers benefits that go beyond the basics, including money added to your Social Security check to help cover your Part B premium. Call today to get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Your free plan guide will give you the details you need to make a smart choice for your Medicare coverage. Just call 1-866-819-7962. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting this free information. So call 1-866-819-7962. WellCare. Call today.
Now let's mosey over to Mr. Food's test kitchen to see what Howard is cooking up.
Okay, you've got your main course, you made a salad, and you've just realized you forgot your side dish. No worries, because we've got an easy skillet go-along that's on the table in about 20 minutes. Not only is it quick, it's so good, it might win an award for the best supporting side dish. In a skillet, we begin by sauteing some chopped onion in a bit of oil until it's tender. To that, we add some uncooked white rice and saute it until it's golden. We add some chicken broth and let that simmer for about 15 minutes or until it's tender. And now for the part that gives this dish its big, bold flavor. We add in a can of black beans that we've drained, a generous amount of corn, some fresh salsa, cilantro, and a bit of ground cumin. 5 more minutes is all it takes for the flavors to blend together. Then it's ready to serve. Maybe garnish it with a bit more cilantro, and it's a party of flavor in every bite. Whether you serve this with roasted chicken, a burger, or on Taco Tuesdays, you can't go wrong. To get the recipe for our Fiesta Rice Skillet, all you have to do is check out our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fun and festive way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
It does look good. That's something I would make, only I'd add some protein and put it in a tortilla.
There you go.
Everything's better in a tortilla.
Perfect.
Except for breakfast cereal and milk, it doesn't work. Trust me.
No milk.
A rescue dog in Connecticut paints, but not with his paws. This special artist is named Van Gogh. He paints art with his tongue.
The 7-year-old pit bull was rescued from a North Carolina dog-fighting ring, which left him with injuries. One of his ears had to be amputated. Van Gogh learned to paint with his tongue after the founder of the rescue home put a canvas with paint into a peanut butter-coated plastic bag. The center held a gallery show for his pieces to see if they could find someone to adopt him, but only 2 people attended. The rescue center says Van Gogh is now getting adoption interest from people worldwide.
I bet he is with all the publicity he's getting. Well, inflation keeps hurting Americans. A recent survey shows more people are changing their plans this holiday season. The poll by the insurance company MassMutual found that most Americans continue to adjust their lifestyle due to ongoing inflation.
The report shows that 63% of people don't have plans to travel during this holiday season. 59% of respondents admitted to delaying important purchases. And the data also shows that close to 2/4 of respondents are taking money from their savings.
I know that feeling.
Yes, that is a normal experience around here.
Well, just over a week into his role as CEO at Twitter, Elon Musk's already making changes upon changes. It's resulting in new controversies for the company and the social media platform.
Fox's David Lee Miller has the details.
Fallout continues over Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. Bloomberg reporting some of the workers fired in the mass layoff last week are now being asked to come back.
It seems difficult to me to understand how you would be able to correctly evaluate so many people's positions and
performances in such a small period of time.
Musk is also cracking down on so-called impersonator accounts after celebrities and other verified users changed their Twitter names to Elon Musk.